Hi everyone. Welcome to an exhilarating showcase of pure motorcycle artistry. Join us as we unveil 5 extraordinary custom Harley-Davidson 2023 Fat Boy FLFBS creations by Thunderbike. Prepare to be mesmerized by the fusion of power, innovation, and sheer craftsmanship. Each of these masterpieces embodies a unique blend of style, performance, and Thunderbike's signature excellence. GT Fat Boy. One wish, one plan, one dream bike. Sometimes things turn out differently than you planned. Here, the name has become a completely different one for a good reason. The Fat Boy was to bear a different name. Black Diamond, Tomek thought, would be an appropriate name for a bike in which motifs and lines of cut diamonds were to be found again and again. Simply Black, Tomek thought, was just a bit too boring. For the implementation of his project, Tomek naturally hired Ingo. After he had already gathered all the components in bicolor, also called contrast cut, Ingo Cruiser was to provide the surfaces to be painted with a matching color language. He succeeded. The play of polygonal metallic shapes is not just paint, it is a true cruiser design. And it blends into the overall concept in a sucking way. But because Tomek always wanted it to be even more perfect, he fell for our GT wheels. The storage of these wheels simply harmonized too well with the diamond motif, and then they were also available in the contrast cut. He immediately put them on the list. The installation was a premiere, 23 inches in the front, 21 inches in the rear. And in our single-sided swing arm, too, so that the wheel would definitely not be overlooked in the back. Well, it was the GT wheels that finally gave the Black Diamond a new name, Fat Boy GT. With such a firecracker, of course an air ride can't be missing, and the lowering at the front puts the Fat Boy directly in the right position. Tomek made no compromises in this respect either. Steel Force. It's no coincidence if you think you've seen this style before. It's intentional. What's good catches on, and we keep getting better. The Force bikes are named for a reason. They're Fat Boys, based on the Milwaukee-Eight Fat Boy, and their performance lives up to the name. We're always making them a little more powerful. Contrast cut, which means that from time to time bare metal shines through the black coating. This makes sense, especially as the Force is called the Steel Force. To show off the bike, which is always a bit hidden at the back, we combined it with our single-sided swing arm kit. The single-sided swing arm gives a full view of the right side of the bike, including the striking center lock. We are particularly proud of this as it makes the bike look like it has just come from the pit stop. The steel rear fender with integrated LED lights hugs the wheel, at least when the air ride is lowered. Good for when you park the bike in front of a cafe and sip an espresso. To keep the look consistent, we shortened the fork and lowered the front end. When you're on the road, raise the rear for full comfort. To keep the line flat, the insanely comfortable Hollywood light handlebars sit atop the front end. So you have everything under control, even when braking through the 340mm big speed disc. We told you, this is what confidence looks like. Jekyll & Hyde's shorty big shot silencers provide a legal concert of desires to match the looks. Ingo Cruiser's paintwork allows the Steel Forces steel motif to shine through. It's a final chord for all the senses when you drive off the lot after your espresso. You have delivered your exclusive show. GT Leader. We think our Fat Boy deserves a new name after the Thunderbike makeover. It's still fat, but different. Now it's a leader, and on GT wheels, bearing the name GT Leader. It was the wheels that made the Fat Boy famous, because they lived up to their name. The full disc rims looked massive enough, they turned the Harley into a Fat Boy. The Fat Boy was a child of its time, when rear view meant something else, at least not the neat juxtaposition of lines. The company has already understood this. The new Fat Boy no longer rolls on solid disc wheels. It now has so-called short spokes, which bear the beautiful name Lakester. That's a bit more airy. We wanted more, and that is less in the true sense of the word. Our new GT wheels provide a view, and a beautifully framed view at that. As we supply them in different sizes, we also took the opportunity to play with the formats. 18-inch at the rear and 21-inch at the front. The combination of GT wheels has never been seen before, especially as it was the typical feature of the Fat Boy to roll on the same diameter at the front and rear. Because it is the first of its kind, it has also earned its new name, GT Leader. It could also be due to the balanced rear design. We have adapted the standard swing arm to the new 260 tires in every detail. The pulley brake provides a view of the GT wheel on the right-hand side. The design of the steel fender has also been adapted to the 260mm and, would you believe it, the seat shell of the saddle also has its own design. And then, of course, we have an air ride. Our Vegas brake discs and the GP Bow spoiler take the former Terminator bike even further into the future. And the melodious shortcut silencers from Jekyll & Hyde guarantee stress-free riding in the present, because it's street legal. So please relax on the forward-mounted footrests, also from our company. The paint finish from Cruiser Design once again sets the final accent. It is unobtrusive in its grey-green basic tone and therefore opens the eye to the well-proportioned lines. Once caught, we don't want to let go of the interplay of interlocking colors. The play of colors also softens the appearance of the once so massive Fat Boy. Golden Lord. At some point, we all become fine gentlemen. We express this not only with automatic watches and tailored suits, but also with a genuine Harley. It is no longer recognizable, the fat boy that once achieved immortal fame with the Terminator. The bad boy has become a smart man, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, who no longer goes out on the street without a tailored suit. That's why we think Golden Lord is a fitting name for the fat boy. If the name already reveals the concept, then we also reveal the details. All gold-colored parts are powder-coated in what we call Koch gold. The surface is matte, so we're not flaunting bling-bling, but rather a subtle nuance. By the way, the same color tone can be found on our Glatzer Mobile, which our photographer has already chosen for his club styler based on a lowrider street, so slowly we are all becoming fine gentlemen. The Golden Lord is also quite a big deal in technical terms. There's not much left of the historic Fat Boy with its bobbed 18-inch wheels. Instead, we've fitted our big speed wheels, 21 inches at the rear, 23 inches at the front. What you don't see, and this is intentional, is the front air ride, combined with an air ride in the rear, of course. The rear end is again the real centerpiece. The single-side swing arm kit is, as the name suggests, a single-sided swing arm that provides a view of the rear wheel from the right-hand side. On the left, there's all the more going on, because the single-side swing arm kit also includes our mighty perimeter brake disc with internal brake fist. On top, our sleek steel rear fender is enthroned with integrated turn signals and tail lights that are only visible when they are in action, i.e. glowing. The Flip 2 handlebar is mounted on our old-style riser kit. For this we have converted the clutch to hydraulic. The line can be guided close to the handlebar and there is a nice symmetry with the brake line on the other side. This is what clean looks like. Also the many small Koch gold applications, for example on the pushrod tubes, or our torque clutch cover and our new custom ignition cover have to be mentioned. Of course we mounted our GP Longbow spoiler again this time, even though we briefly considered whether it might not look too aggressive for a fine gentleman. Because the form fit to the front wheel is definitely more elegant, we finally did it. Of course, the noble gentleman is not a bike brother. That's why we gave it a silencer from Jekyll and Hyde. Noise is thus possible when it needs to be, but the cultivated appearance is also guaranteed at the push of a button. Big Atlas. Although we have already shown some impressive custom bikes based on the Milwaukee-Eight Fat Boy recently, this conversion stands out once again. It is probably primarily the dominant GP wheels in deep gloss black that make the bike look unique. Thanks to the rich gloss black finish of the elaborately milled monoblock wheels measuring 4 to 23 inches at the front and 9 to 21 inches at the rear, the bike looks like a modern hot rod. This look is supported by our air ride in the front and rear. This allows the bike to be lowered so far that the gaps between the chassis, fender and tires are barely noticeable. This gives the bike a unique, compact appearance. The new 45mm thick handlebar, which we are using here for the first time, also fits in perfectly with the compact overall concept. This new handlebar dimension is milled from aluminium in several individual parts and then welded together. This has a number of advantages, as it allows us to precisely execute design contours and prepare milled sections for routing lines and cables for assembly. The same applies to the specially manufactured riser, which merges positively into the handlebars. However, the bike not only has a lot to offer visually, but also technically. Components such as the single-sided swing arm with its huge perimeter brake at the rear and the new front end with two 340mm brake discs on the front wheel ensure the necessary street performance. Thanks for watching.